What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I've got games 2 and 3 of Cinderace versus Snorlax VMAX for you. If you have not already watched game 1, which I uploaded to the channel one day prior to this video, be sure to go check that out. So of course we've got the Cinderace deck on the left, which is a pretty basic, just get to the Cinderace and loop Cinderace's attack, which does 190. And on the right we've got Snorlax VMAX, which has Welder and a bunch of healing to try to just keep one big Snorlax VMAX alive. So on the left over here I start out with just a Score Bunny. You see me grind the top card to see if I'm going to just dead draw and lose this game, if it's even worth playing, but it looks like it's worth continuing on. It is possible that she just gets the donk on me here if she has a Welder, but it looks like no Welder yet. So quick ball for the Dedenne. It looks like she may have forgotten to discard a card for that quick ball, but it doesn't matter because she was discarding literally her whole hand anyway for the Dedenne. And then just attach return to Victini and use Victini's first attack to attach a fire from the discard to the Snorlax V. So my go, and I have a Professor in hand, so that's good. So I'm just going to use the Great Catcher since I dumping my hand with Professor anyway. U-turn board to the Score Bunny. I would like a Jirachi here. It looks like I have the quick ball. So quick ball away for the Jirachi. And then just retreat for free since I have the U-turn board, so we can Stellar Wish and start seeing more cards to maybe help me on my later turns. And just get the Giant Hearth, which isn't really a card that's going to help me too much. What I really want to see is Evolution Incense and Rare Candies. And probably switching cards. So back over to Snorlax. And let me know what you guys think of the format. I didn't want to go like too fancy with the gameplay. I just figured I would try giving you guys the largest image I could for today's video, see how that looks. But if you all want something a little more fancy, then I can definitely work on that. But if this gets the job done and you don't really care about the layout and whatnot, and this picture's fine, then that's fine by me. Okay, so we've got attach, retreat, and then use Victini V's attack again after I Great Catcher up to the Dedenne. Giant Hearth, I pitch away a Cinderace for 2 fire to thin out the deck, and then I just have the normal rod anyway to put the Cinderace back in. And then it looks like it's going to be another Professor for me. So all I need is a switching card here. Skateboard or Switch. So I have the Switch, and I have not Stellar Wished yet. So there's Stellar Wish, and I get in a Skateboard. Evolution Incense for a Raboot. So I don't think I have a Candy this time. So that's kind of an issue with this deck. It's either you're missing a Candy or you're missing a Switch card. That's what I felt like. Oh, I have the Candy. Okay. Well, it still is a problem with the deck, but it's not a problem that I ran into in this instance. So retreat into that. I don't need to use the ability since I already have energy on him. In the case that they don't knock out the Cinderace, maybe putting energy on is fine, but then I can just retreat into a different Cinderace. And I have a Switch in my hand, so like everything seems okay. So I don't need to use Libero to attach the energy that time. Pitch the Air Balloon to search for fire energy there. Or just Balloon, I think it's just called Balloon. and then just swing 120 into the Cinderace. So very underwhelming. She can't really get a bench set up, which is kind of unlike this Snorlax deck from what I've seen it performing so far. So I retreat into the other Cinderace, attach Recycle, Libero Fire Energy onto it, and then swing the 190 in. Also, I tried to pick like the largest dice to use for these gameplay recordings, so there are 4 dice there, but like at the first glance, maybe it's a little hard to see all 4 of the die. I'm trying to use dice that are best for it, though. So here we see a Malolana, and then swing 120 again. So the Snorlax is staying alive. I have a switch for another Libero into a 190 swing. Now, there I could have... That was a switch turn, right? Yeah. So I could have just switched into Jirachi, Stellar Wish, and a Skateboard. I think I was just moving too fast through the motions because of how the game looks to be going. Or maybe I just had everything I needed in my hand, but I think it would have still been better to Stellar Wish there. So the Lax has 260 damage, I believe, so that's going down this turn. And I will be going down to 1 prize. Unfortunate that the Minchinos never got set up. You'll see she just got down a Chinchino there on the bench last turn, I believe. And then retreat into Libero into 190 knockout. Bench Jirachi first, okay. 190 knockout, go down to 1 prize. And her hand is just not looking good. It looks like a Fire Crystal. Let's see what the other cards are. Just not a Welder, and that's the problem. So yeah, it's just a pass there. And that's a great catcher for the Dedenne for knockout. And Cinderace takes game 2. So the series is 1-1 there, including the game 1 video, which, as I mentioned, you can watch on the channel. And so we're just going to be going right into game 3 here in this video, since game 2 was kind of underwhelming. Cinderace just kind of took it by storm, I feel. So each deck won 1 game, so we'll be going into a game 3 here. Snorlax VMAX, I believe, will be choosing to go first. We haven't really been experimenting with choosing to go second yet, at least with these 2 decks. I think since we both want to evolve, it's still good to go first and get the Pokemon down. So I've got a Jirachi start, which is very nice. And Snorlax and Minchino, or Chinchino, which is very nice as well. And just an attach buff padding from her, but remember that supporters cannot be played at turn 1 going first, so that could be why we did not see any supporters come down there. So I've just got attached a Score Bunny Cynthia, which is pretty solid. I have a Jirachi active, I'm super fine with that. Here's Stellar Wish looking for a Quick Ball, and what do we get? Looks like it's just going to be a supporter going to hand here. Yeah, so we'll get a Marnie and put it into our hand. Bench Ditto Prism, and pass. So down comes the Minchino to trade. Ooh, into a Snorlax VMAX and a Dedenne. What a 2-card draw there. Okay, but she could not get a welder. So that's just a pass. Now this turn, it's very important that I get an attack off, since she's behind. So we candy down the Cinderace. And I have Cynthia and 2 Marnies. I have the recycle that's coming down onto the Cinderace there, and Cynthia for 6 cards. So if I already have a fire in the discard, I don't think I do. So I need like a quick ball or a hearth or a heat factory, and then I also need a switching card. So there's quick ball, but do I have a switching card as well? And I do discard the fire energy with that. So that works out well if I have a switching card in hand off of the Cynthia and the Stellar Wish. Oh, it looks like I have a great catcher. And not much else going for me, so I'll great catcher to just try to stall another turn while I still try to get an attack off. But neither of us have gotten an attack off yet, so it's actually pretty even here. Trade away a Psychic Energy for 2 cards. So the Psychic Energy is in there for the Indeedee, its attack, but Indeedee just isn't very good in this matchup, so it's never going to be used really. So trade for 2 cards, bench a Ditto Prism and Welder. Here we go with Welder. As I mentioned in the Game 1 video, it is pretty good to get more than 3 energy onto the Snorlax VMAX since we're playing Hyper Potion in this list. If you don't know what it does, Hyper Potion is discard 2 cards and heal 120 from... discard 2 energy from the Pokemon and then heal 120. If you can't discard 2 energy, you can't play this card. So, manual attached to Dedenne, Fire Crystal, 3 energy back to hand. I think she might have had the Ninetales and was thinking about using it, but she just benched Ditto Prism that turn, I think. Take a knockout on the Rachi, and I'll use Giant Hearth to thin my deck. And then Evolutionary Incense, get a Reboot. And Stellar Wishing for a Professor. So evolve that, attach fire, since if I get the retreat into Cinderace, I have fire energy in the discard now. And it looks like I'm whiffing a switch again. So, whiffing switch and a skateboard is definitely an issue for this deck. So if you're building your own Cinderace deck, maybe putting in more switch or skateboard than you originally thought could be a good idea, and it's definitely something I'm going to be considering moving forward with the deck. But I will have deck profiles very soon for both of these decks, talking about how they performed in the games I've tested so far and some changes I'll want to make. So here we go. We've got a massive 5 energy Snorlax VMAX swinging into my stuff, and that thing can just be healed by Indeedee, Malolana, and Hyper Potion. The Hyper Potion doesn't affect it at all since it has 5 energy now. So I actually retreat here into the other Cinderace to get off a Libero because I plus with an energy onto the board. Originally I had 3 active and 1 bench, so now I have 3 active and 2 bench, so I'm plus 1 energy on the board, and I won't have to retreat the Cinderace next turn. That's on the bench after the active one gets knocked out. So here we go, Marnie, shuffle our hands, put them on the bottom of the deck, draw 5 and 4 new cards respectively. Quick ball down another Scorbunny. And swing a reasonable 190 into the Snorlax VMAX. So she's got double trade going on now. A pretty nice sized hand after recovering from the Marnie, and Indeedee's ability to heal 20 from the active, a Malolana to heal 120 from the active, and just into the Minccino with Balloon to retreat and heal 120 from the Snorlax. So just like that, my 190 turned into 50. Attach Balloon to Indeedee. and knock out the Cinderace. So I have Switch in my hand, I have U-Turn Board in my hand, sending up the Score Bunny's fine, or Evolution Incense for the Raboot, Attach and Professor for 7. And this is looking like the healing on Snorlax VMAX last turn was the beginning of the end. That was just, that tempo swing is just too much, especially when my deck can't. My deck has no one-shot potential, so a consideration is a Heatran GX in here, so you can go like Libero, then switch into Heatran GX and swing for like 300 plus damage. But that also requires like adding more switches and escape boards and stuff. But since I already want to do that, maybe Heatran GX might be the move. So we got another 190 on the Snorlax VMAX, and let's see if the healing is going to commence yet again. There's the Mallow and Lana again for 120 off of the Snorlax VMAX. It goes down to 100 HP, I believe there. It goes down to 100 damage, my bad. So 290 HP left. And then that's trading the Welder for Giant Hearth, or pitching the Welder for Giant Hearth to get 2 fire energy, attach, and swing. So the Snorlax has 100 damage on it, but it has 390 HP. So we Marnie there, Evolution Incense, and I'm out of Cinderace. So I would have been fine to swing there if I was not out of Cinderace. Maybe knock out this Snorlax in 2 turns and then they not have a response because all the Pokemon on their bench are weaker. But yeah, right here I just I'm kind of at a loss there. I didn't expect to be out of Cinderace when I searched. And I just pass. So I'm not really sure what could happen for me past this point. But here the Snorlax VMAX deck is just really showing off its tankiness, and it's just how it can survive off this moderate damage output and the consistency of the trades and the healing. It's just a really nice mesh of attributes that are going for it here. And, you know, having 390 HP with the buff padding doesn't hurt. So, while they're on to the benched Snorlax VMAX, and then Hyper Potion, the active Snorlax VMAX, just pouring all the salt in the wound there. So 2 Snorlax VMAX set up with 3 energy each, and they're both fully healed, and there's just nothing I can do, and that's the end of Game 3. So Snorlax VMAX takes the set versus Cinderace. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I will be doing deck profiles on the deck, and of course more gameplay for Sword and Shield as we get even closer to the release. It's not until February, so we've still got quite a while until it's released outside of Japan. But if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and also subscribe for more videos in the future. Shout out to my sponsor, PotownStore.com. You can use code Celio for 5% off there, and also code Celio all caps at FlipsideGaming.com. I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.